Welcome, acolytes. Today, I am reacting to Asmongold, the Great Extinction of the AI. And hey, acolytes, just to be honest, if you can react to the reactionary man himself, you're just gonna do it. No matter what. Everything else is irrelevant, this is more important. Let's just see what the man cooks up and start.
Age, the Veilguard, the game that people insisted and ensured and promised that yes, in fact, let me go ahead and look at this this tweet. This is a really funny tweet.
Yep.
Wait, he deleted the tweet? Basically what happened is that
I know it.
Dragon Age came out, and Dragon Age became a an unfortunate battleground for the video game culture war, where you had characters that were turned into effectively like modern representations of like gender politics, and in general it seemed like this game took every opportunity that it could to take advantage of like a current social issue. It did that in spades. And I played Dragon Age a lot, and so when I'm talking about this, I didn't finish the game, but I played it for 135 hours. About half of that probably was me just leaving the game on overnight, but I went through pretty much every character, companion, full storyline, and I almost completed the main story, but I didn't finish it out.
Fair enough. So he played it himself. I am for myself, from what I am seeing, not really my type of game. Especially the political stuff. As a lot of people think like the same.
So, basically this game came out, and it came out to raving tremendous reviews.
Yep.
Everybody was saying this game was going to be insane. But anyway, so Jason Schreier made a tweet when the game came out, and he said, "Go woke, go oops, top the charts." And this was to make fun of the people who were talking about how like, oh, this game being woke is going to kill the game, and it's going to be, oh, this game's going to be unsuccessful, right?
Yep.
Well,
it was.
So actually, I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on.
Yep.
And so
this is the thing problem. Make a good game, don't try to own people. Or if you want to own people, make a good game. This owns the more than just freaking enraging them.
Jason Schreier, unfortunately, was captured by an ideology and decided to leave the element of reality.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we're snapping back to reality today. The sales for this game were 50% of what they were expected. The game was projected to have 3 million players, and it had 1.5 million. And also, this is players, so keep in mind.
Fair enough.
Let's use some logic here. All right, we're gonna talk about logic. A company releases data from their shareholder report.
Yep.
Shareholder reports are meant to ensure like competence and confidence in the shareholders, right? Like they're meant to raise the value of the company and communicate the value in a way that is most beneficial for the people that are running the company.
Correct.
So if you look at this logic, if they said 1.5 million players and they did not say sales, that means that probably the 1.5 million players is the most positive metric that they can use that is factually true.
That's correct.
So it would even go to assume that it was under 50% of the sales expectations.
You know what? Now that he explains it, the thing is, I was thinking exactly the same thing. But I just don't say it because I assume that people think exactly like me. And just by saying it, it's just so much better. No, damn, like this guy is still a master of his craft. Damn. I just have to... I need to learn a lot of acolytes here. Like, damn, okay.
Do you see kind of what I'm saying here? Because it would be logical that in the shareholder report, they would want to report the data points that would be most advantageous to them.
Yep.
And so if 50% is your best case scenario, think about what the actual reality is for the sales. Game Pass beta, promotional copies. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah, that's the best case scenario. I played it, but I refunded it. I think the game had some decent combat, and it had decent character building. I enjoyed, but overall, I'm not surprised why this happened. I'll tell you that. And so we're going to look at some of the information about this, and we're going to see how the game did. So obviously, there was a lot of celebration when Dragon Age: The Veilguard first released because the game seemed to have a lot of players. It had 90,000 players, and now it's been floundering, and it has 3,000 players. To be fair, this is a single-player game, and the majority of people that would have played the game have already played the game, and they've moved on.
Yeah. And by the way, don't get me wrong that I am defending this shit, because I am not. 90,000 is a lot of copies sold. But you just have to look up solo-player games that are played after 10 years, and there are still bangers. Yeah, and sorry, but this is still sad. For Dragon Age, specifically, that's extremely sad.
But unfortunately, for at least them, not a lot of the people even moved in the first place. So if you go to the Dragon Age Veilguard subreddit, you'll see that you have a bunch of twit-longers and essays about addressing the anti-woke crowd. The issue with Veilguard is that BioWare currently lacks an executive truth. No, none of that had to do. Like, there's an executive. No, this is the problem. My advice to fans: look at the game, The Identity. How many of these games have to fail and cause a studio to close in order for people to realize that putting in divisive social issues inside of a video game divides people? Yes. And when you divide people, well, I don't know. I guess they did divide people. They divided them by about half. That's what happens.
Corrected.
Too bad, huh? If you put divisive content into your game, you're going to have people that are divided.
No shit. Honestly, no shit. He's correct about that. That's true. And let's just say it, because we actually have a fresh one. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The next freaking bollocks that happens. Just because there are some drama queens in their effing channels, instead of actually just doing a proper thing, holding their standards up, they are fucking up constantly. Now they have... I mean, the game will probably still sell good. It will probably still be a decent game. But fuck me if they didn't have an opportunity here to actually sell way more copies than they did, just because of some fucking idiots not holding their fucked up mouths and just spewing bullshit.
That's it. And so you have to ask yourself the question, when you're putting stuff like that into your games that you know that people won't like and will have a massive negative reception on social media, ask yourself the honest question, is this good for the company? Is it good for the long-term health of the company, the employees, and the product that you use it as a battleground for what your social ideology is?
And the customers. Please don't forget the customers.
And it sure seems like the answer to that question here is very much a no. So we can expect to see probably the studio that make this game get either shut down or massively resized. We're probably going to see dozens, if not hundreds of people lose their jobs.
Yep.
And the only thing that I have to say about it is rip bozo. You make garbage that nobody wants.
Correct.
Too bad. That's the way it goes. That's life.
Correctly.
Downsizing is imminent. That's right. Make a bad product, people don't buy the product. Imagine that.
Yeah. How
game director already left for Green. Yeah, she roached out so fast. She's already gone, and they're not even hiring anybody for the studio. That means that they are basically going through the motions of getting rid of it. So yeah,
Good.
EA shares dropped by 15%. Oh, let's take a look at that. EA stocks. Huh. That's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost as bad as Trump coin. Ooh. Ooh. Ouch. Eesh. You don't like seeing numbers like that, boys. Not so good. When was Veilguard released? I don't remember. It was like a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
Like probably somewhere around here, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Not worth remembering.
But either way, yeah, massive fucking failure for EA, and it's going to cause. See, if you lose, think about that. You're losing 28% of your money. That means if you had $10,000 invested in EA, now you have $7,500 invested in EA. Right?
Yep.
Well, actually, a little bit less than that. About $7,000, or to be completely accurate, $7.11.
Semantics.
$2,000.
It's fine.
So yeah, it's a huge amount
number.
of fucking money that you're losing. Okay, guys, massive amount of money that you're losing, and so that's basically what happened. Yep. Thank God. And I hope that this serves as a lesson to a lot of the other game developers that when you do something like this and you put content out there and your game sucks, you're going to be out of a fucking job.
No.
They've ruined so many games. Yep, that's right.
No, it won't. It won't. As long as there are ideologically driven people in there, they won't learn their lesson. I know it. I am a Polish guy. Poland is very religious. And no matter how many F-ups, our church was particularly bad, by the way, where we were from. No matter how many fuck-ups they had, they still stayed there. It was irrelevant. Just because they believed so hard in a thing. And I'm comparing it specifically to that because the woke crowd, or the crowd that actually is a strong believer in this political cause, are the same thing. They think exactly the same. They don't come to their conclusions by logic, purely by emotion or by indoctrination. And this is just something that happens all the time. That's why it is what it is. It won't stop just because they are out of a job. No, they believe so hard that they were correct about Dragon Age the Veilguard that they won't care. A lot of companies will fall. Other companies that actually make good stuff will rise at some point, and we will have a new cycle that repeats itself.
Right. So Dragon Age Veilguard has just cost investors 20% of their money. Not direct. No, I'm sure there were other confounding factors, but it was definitely a very big factor. And so Jason Schreier with the go woke, be the top of the charts. Well, I guess that's not what happened. It's certainly not. And apparently he even deleted the posts that he made talking about this. Now, I like Jason and I respect him as a journalist, but I think that he's gone too far with thinking about this stuff. And I think that a lot of these like social issues have caused people to lose their objectivity, and they've made people accept realities that simply do not exist. And I think that in the process of that, you see a lot of people that have genuine talent and genuine like ability to do good. You see them basically gaslight themselves into living in a false reality. I think Jason is one of those people. So, do you ever plan to retire? Do I? I don't think so. Jason chose a bad hill to die on. Yeah, well, it's not him that's dying on it. It's Dragon Age, and it killed itself. How do you think Veilguard will be remembered in 10 years? It will be remembered as a game that was a turning point for video games using social issues inside of the game. I think that you are insane if you think that the executives that are running video game companies don't see this and they don't look at all the negative reviews and negative sentiment and think to themselves, holy fucking shit, we need to stop doing this. Like, absolutely they are. Yeah, I think that's on Concord. Well, in general, right? But it's a cautionary tale. And also, and that's if it's going to be remembered at all. Because you have so many other games that are even bigger failures like Concord. So maybe people won't even think about this game at all. Actually shooting yourself in the foot? Well, apparently they shot themselves in the head. Because it looks like the studio is probably going to get totally shut down. They paused all hiring for the entire studio. And all of those people are going to be out of a job. Yep. That's it. And so let's go ahead. We'll look at a few more posts about this and look into it. Let me see if I can find any more of these. Where is the rest of it? I think there's a couple of other tweets that I did not see. A lot of Trump stuff. But let me go back and I'll find it real quick. Yep. There we go. This is a commercial success, actually. Man.
Hey.
Man. That sucks.
Nah.
It still didn't sell well. So, for context, just so you guys understand how much of a generational failure this was.
Ooh.
Let's assume at the most generous that they sold 1.5 million copies. They didn't, but let's assume that they did. That is almost 1/10 of the sales, or sorry, a little bit more than 1/10 of the sales that Dragon Age Inquisition had. And before you go and tell me that, oh, well, it came out a long time ago, do you really think that it's going to get 10 million more sales in the next 10 years? What are we talking about? Of course that's not going to happen. So, Inquisition wasn't even that good. Well, it was certainly a lot better than this. And that's what's happened. Deconstructing a notion of a commercial success. Well, here's the reality. A lot of journalists looked at this game as a cultural battleground, and they defended it without thinking and without any degree of rationality or common sense.
And they fucked up.
So what ended up happening is that they were defending a product and defending something that nobody actually wanted, and they damaged their own credibility. Like, I don't know how it was possible for journalists to cut their credibility in half, because I thought you couldn't divide by 0. But somehow they've managed to do it. And they are even less credible than they were. And it keeps happening over and over and over. It's a return to form. Yeah, it is. The form is being a corpse.
Actually, a lot of people forget that there isn't a bottom that you can reach if it comes to negative stuff. It would, as long as you're alive. Because there is always something you can do worse over time. So yeah.
Oh, go broke. He went private a few months ago. His last posts on X are from November 2024. He's moved over, so now he's posting only on Blue Sky.
Of course, on the pedo side. Ugh.
Well, there it is.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. It's so fucking funny.
It is. By the way, I seen a meme about Blue Sky that was just on point. A guy is going out from X and is like, yep, I'm going to Blue Sky. It's way better. This is a toxic site. Then he comes back and says, hey, there are only pedos at this site. Can you welcome me back? And I just can freaking attune to it. I can feel this because I had the exact same experience. The exact effing same experience.
So funny to me. He roached out of Twitter, man. He did. I gotta get out of here quick. Yeah, EA, and to be fair, I think he did report on this himself and talk about it. I'd have to go back and look and see. Yep, no longer on Twitter. Man. What's he saying on Blue Sky? Nothing. Guys, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is free real estate for me. I love it. I do too. I think this is amazing. Because, and I also want to say, and this is absolutely me talking about the fact that I was right about everything. This was my original numbers for sales. And the number that I used for my estimation for how many copies this game sold was exactly accurate. And do you know why? By the way, do you know why I was able to do that? I'm not a wizard. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a Palantir. I can't see the future. But I know how data works. And I know how to extrapolate data and expand it based off of a representative sample. And if you've taken, I don't know, 2 classes in college, fuck, I'm pretty sure high school has a class in this. It's so easy to do. It's so simple. And people were giving each other the runaround because nobody can do math. It's embarrassing. Then apply common sense. Yes, of course. You base too much on SteamDB? Well, if I base too much on SteamDB, and I've been accurate with every prediction that I've made based off of SteamDB, I don't think that I do. I got lucky? Well, man, I sure do get lucky a lot, don't I?
He's correct.
You were being honest. They weren't. That's true. And that's also, see, you know what? That's the bigger point. And I don't even think there's a really, you bring up a very, very good point. I don't think Jason Schreier and a lot of these other people that were defending Dragon Age the Veilguard are stupid people.
No.
I think that they are intelligent people, but they just have goals that are not the same as mine.
Correctly.
So when they can't see the truth, it's not because they can't see it, it's because they won't see it.
Correctly.
They don't want to see it, and they don't want to accept it.
Correctly, yes.
So that's the real reason. Yeah, money speaks. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's it. That's really what's going on. It's not that they can't do the math. I think that they probably had to have known this.
Of course.
But they just went with it, and they towed the party line. And, hey, it looks like they're sinking. That's it. The goal is being access media. No, I think that there are a lot of journalists and a lot of people that have infested entertainment media that view their position in entertainment media as a responsibility of being a proliferator of an ideology. So they are trying to put forward an ideology to everybody. They want everybody to think the way that they do. And so what they do is they take instances of that ideology like existing and they make it look like it's better than it is. This game got a 9 out of 10.
And by the way, if everyone thinks like you don't have to think at all.
From IGN. Amazing. Guys, I think we really need to sit down and have an evaluation of who's writing and who's making these decisions. Because this is so distorted that, and I hope IGN hears what I'm saying here. IGN is probably the best gaming website right now on the internet. I think IGN has a lot of problems, but it's the best one. You are taking your credibility and somehow you are dividing it by 0, and it's working. If you look at these different websites, actually, I'm not going to pull it up on Google Trends. Every single one of these gaming journalism websites is totally fucking dying. And they are like at 10% of the relevance that they had 10 years ago. I'm not even kidding you. You can look it up and check the trends for yourself. Look at Polygon, Kotaku, IGN, any of them, PC Gamer, etc. You guys need to stop pushing bullshit. Because pretty soon there's not going to be anybody left to push bullshit to.
Correct.
And it's happening. Every single one of these times where
Just
you review a game
fall,
and then the game is bad and people don't like the game, you know what happens? People take you less seriously and they think that you're stupid.
Correct.
Do that enough times and people stop listening. Here's the big thing that I think a lot of people need to understand. Do not put divisive political issues in video games. Your opinion of what is divisive is not relevant. What people's opinion of what is divisive is relevant. Anyway, so this is what's happened. Dragon Age Veilguard was a colossal failure.
Yeah, and it's good.
A massive...
Good.
I do think that people will look back on this and say, man, maybe we shouldn't make games like that anymore.
Just maybe.
Really excited to design.
Just
Dragon
maybe.
Age.
Because at the end of the day, as I said, I don't think they learned their lesson. People don't give a fuck. If they are ideologically driven, it just will continue, and they will do what they are doing, and they will continue to do what they are doing until they have a zero amount of dollars to actually survive, and other companies will take over that actually do stuff that everybody wants to watch. But acolytes as it is, I mean Drakengard the Veilguard, a gift that keeps on giving. A gift of freaking entertainment that is probably dead right now because it goes into history as one of the biggest gaming failures ever. And I am not happy about it. I am happy about the fact that collectively a big amount of people said, no, fuck that. But as it is, acolytes, good night.